Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Morning Dew Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on October 29th, 2021. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Dew, giving you a space weather update, world weather, earthquakes, and volcanoes. Starting out here, looking at the sun the last 48 hours, and as documented yesterday, we did have an Earth-directed X-class flare. That's right, has not happened in quite some time, and it was very large at that, and we are looking at radio blackouts that are still in effect across the northern and southern hemisphere right now. Looking at the last 48 hours incoming, there was a CME ejected from this large solar flare. Also looking at that very active and spastic sunspot, northwestern cresting limb outgoing. We did have a large plasma filament that was connected, but when that solar flare went off, that filament took off as well. So quite a bit of plasma and energy, and the density of it all is heading our way and already being affected to our planet. Very fast moving X-class flare from this sunspot region. Looking at different angstroms here. Amazing images coming out of Solar Dynamics Observatory today after the large X-class solar flare and double CME. We have now an active 5 sunspots in an Earth-facing position and no coronal holes to talk about that will be affecting our planet, so solar wind stream still remains low. Looking at multi-spectrum here, wow. A little bit of glitchy going on there as well from the SDO. Big pulse from our sun. And looking at the NOAA space prediction spiral here, it will be hitting us October 30th into the 31st. A little Halloween solar flare affecting our planet. Very large. Look at that. And most of the energy projected right at our planet. That big pink blob will be hitting us on the 30th. Looking at the ISWA space prediction spiral, that was right after the event. Large X-class flare. Amazing. Please stay safe, stay aware and prepared. And anybody with a heart condition, just be wary and take it easy. Having a look at LASCO 2, you can see a lot of energy pelted towards the satellite from the X-class flare belting out on the 28th of October. And the density of some of this plasma is huge. As documented here with LASCO 2, I'll slow it down a little bit. Just massive. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and as well as subscribing. Thank you for all memberships, super chats, donations. Goes to helping and further research here with daily events worldwide. Thank you, LASCO 2. Looking at solar X-ray flux, still in the B-class range. Solar proton flux is slightly elevated to an S1 storm. Highest frequency affected absorption map here, the DRAP. Normal X-ray background. Real-time solar wind, we're sitting at about 330 kilometers per second. The density is a little bit high, sitting at 2175. Schumann resonance for today, a power of 20. Kind of a buzz around. I could see why, since that X-class flare yesterday. Amplitude of 20, quality of 15. Let's have a look at earthquakes the last 24 hours. We're going to start out here with a rare earthquake, 4.7 in Pengnirtung, Canada. 4.7 in Nunavut. As well, Fort McPherson, Canada, seeing a 3.9 there. A lot of action through Alaska as predicted. Chiniak, and as well, Unalaska seeing a 4.4 here, largest through the region. United States, Boulder, Montana reporting a 3.4, and as well Canadian earthquake stats are reporting a 5.0 in Butte, Montana. Looking at a 3.0 here in Jefferson, Oklahoma. Pretty quiet across the United States. No swarms to talk about. 4.3 here, Mexico, 55-kilometer depth, as well Baja, Mexico. Dominican Republic seeing earthquakes come back to the region. And as well, Colombia seeing some action today, 4.6 and a 4.3. Pretty deep there, though, with the 4.6. Peru seeing a 5.2 and as well a 4.6 just south of Sabancaya. Very active volcano right now. San Antonio de Cobros seeing a 4.4, 177-kilometer depth. South Sandwich Islands seeing a 4.9 and as well a 4.6. Minor activity there. Europe, we definitely did see some action today, a 4.1 here in Carriato, Spain, 4.1. As well, a 4.2 here in Finial, Italy. And Albania seeing a 4.7 and a 4.0. Pretty rare earthquakes there for Albania. But right along the fault line. 4.6 here in Oman, into the Indian plate. 4.4 here reported Laos, 15-kilometer depth. 5.2 here in Sarangani, Philippines, 175-kilometer depth. 4.4 Ende, Indonesia. And Marianas Trench seeing a 4.6, 35-kilometer depth. Very quiet through Japan and Russia. And then the largest and deepest earthquakes today, largest being the 5.5 Kermadec Islands, and as well the deepest, a 4.6 here at 536-kilometer depth, Fiji Islands. Loyalty Islands as well seeing a 4.7. So across the world, we're definitely seeing an uptick since yesterday. We were hovering just above 200 earthquakes on the USGS map for a 24-hour period. Having a look here the last 7 days. And right now, USGS is reporting about 290 earthquakes the last 24 hours. So we will and are seeing an increase in seismicity across the world, especially into the 30th, I'm sure. So heads up, stay safe, aware and prepared, everybody. Hashtag no fear here. Hashtag do crew. And thanks everybody for supporting and loving the streams and videos. Really helps with the YouTube recommendation. Let's have a look here at the Pacific Disaster Center, showing the most recent volcanoes getting updated around the world. As La Palma still is exploding lava out of its, 4 fissures. Sangay in Ecuador, Swiss and Najima in Japan, Reventador in Ecuador, La Palma, Sabancaya in Peru, Kermisky, Russia, Nevadas de Ruiz, Colombia, Semisnapochnoi, United States, Fuego in Guatemala. Moving down the list here, Ibu, Indonesia, Popo in Mexico, Luwatolo, Indonesia, Krakatoa, Indonesia, Ebeko in Russia, and as well Karangatang in Indonesia. So that's about 14 volcanoes getting updated just today. And also we have flooding conditions all across the northeastern United States through New York, Syracuse, and over into Detroit and Wisconsin, seeing a lot of rain with that huge low pressure system. It almost looks tropical. It's massive. And watch where it's going to go in the 5-day forecast here. Very strange weather forecast indeed. Looking at one tropical storm to talk about, Tropical Storm Melo, who is heading northeast and then is going to be hitting the coastline of Canada and the United States in the long-range forecast. Yes, that's right. Another typhoon is heading across the Pacific to North America. And then it's going to head to the North Pole, as all of these systems have been doing. And just look at the sheer size of this low-pressure system. Now, this is a Colorado low mixed with remnants of Tropical Storm Rick that came out of the East Pacific. And it is massive. And it's bringing in a lot of rain. Flooding conditions all across northeastern United States. and as well coastal regions through southwestern Ontario. Very strong winds and rain, heavy rain, expected over the next couple days. I wanted to share here with you the wind streams, our jet stream right now. At 500 feet, higher elevations, it is very cold. And we are watching this polar vortex really start to invade the northern hemisphere. Looking at 10,000 feet, minus 54 at 10,000 feet. Have a quick look at the southern hemisphere versus the northern. Tightly whipped there and not so organized, but will be soon across the northern hemisphere. All this cold north air is funneling down into North America, and we've still got these atmospheric pressure events coming through the East Pacific. Let's have a look at the 5-day forecast brought to you by Meteor Earth and as well daily events worldwide. We're going to start out here in Ontario, where we had a long day of rain today and will tomorrow with that large low pressure system. And look at it heading straight north across Quebec and up into the Greenland for the long range forecast. Big cold high pressure ridge moving in. This system will leave a wet path all across the east coast and up into Atlantic Canada as it mixes with an Alberta low in the long range forecast here coming out of Manitoba. High pressure ridge building in behind it, and cold temperatures are starting to funnel down. Looking at Calgary there, -9, could be even colder. Pretty strong winds coming in through Alberta this week. As well, looking at western parts, central United States, Colorado, watch for heavy snow. Overlooking the Atlantic, pretty organized low pressure system here still through parts of the central Atlantic. Be interesting to see where that goes in the long range forecast. Looks like it's going to head straight north again. Overlooking Europe, pretty big low pressure system is going to be bringing lots of rain this week all across Europe and as well through the Mediterranean. The low pressure system over the United Kingdom, watch it move northeastward through parts of Eastern Europe. Watch for heavy rain and higher elevation snows through Italy. And as well, looking across Russia, really starting to cool off. And as well, a lot of snow is falling. Got a blizzard condition already happening in parts of eastern Russia. It's going to be heading around the northern hemisphere. Overlooking the West Pacific, no major typhoons to talk about, and as well, no cyclones. Nothing but daily evaporation rains for Indonesia. Overlooking Australia, we've got a low pressure system heading into parts of northwestern Australia. It's going to head straight through central parts of the continent and along the line, bringing a lot of moisture. And it looks like another low gets sucked up in there through parts of the Northern Territory in Australia. But very interesting indeed, looking at all that moisture from the equator being funneled towards the southern hemisphere, the South Pole. New Zealand, looking at about 3 days of rain until you get a high pressure ridge moving in, clear things out. Overlooking the Pacific, still watching these strong systems. Look at that tropical system, Melo. By Wednesday, it will be on the coastline of the United States and Canada, mostly Canada, British Columbia. South America, daily evaporation rains, a little bit heavy through Argentina, and could see some strong windy events through the coastal regions of Brazil. Overlooking the African continent, no major weather events. There is a low lingering around through parts of central Africa, but other than that, not much to talk about. Possible development here in the long range, that low pressure system may have lost moisture, but it is still there, upper level low, heading towards Madagascar, and as well one moving through the Indian Ocean. Stay aware and prepared. to the only world weather forecast on YouTube. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share with your friends and family from around the world. Gonna leave you here looking at the southern hemisphere versus the northern. Stay aware and prepared. Winter is right around the corner. 2 days left in October and about 5 weeks left. About 6 weeks left of fall. Thanks for watching. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your morning dew. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.